Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. Today we have everything from mummies to roses to apples. Yeah, it's a wide variety. Let's start out with the mummies because, yeah, that is what the color is for the Secret Lives of Color. We're on 66. Yeah, I know. I did one last video too, so I don't know. Sometimes they get like that. They get right next to each other. Okay, so the color is Mummy. And apparently, it's quite a gruesome chapter, really, because apparently the dye, originally back in the 15 whatevers, they were using mummies, like bodies, to create the inks for that color dye. So it's kind of an interesting read, a little bit different, a little bit dark, but hey, you know, it's reality. It's what really happened. It became so out of fashion, though, thank goodness, that they, you know, and they weren't really digging up mummies anymore. But for my color, brown, which is really one of my favorite brown colors, this is what I have. And it's really similar to one of the earlier colors to me anyways. And so my blocks, you know, they're different sizes for that shade of brown. So there we go. And we are moving along in the brown section to be closing it out and moving it on to black for next month, for October, which is the last color in the series. And one day I will get all of them up on the wall again. I can sew this little section together. Plus I want to talk about backing because I changed my mind a bit. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be telling you about that. All right, let's do Promise Me. So long for Promise Me. We're doing 2 quilts, Amongst the Stars, and some of you are doing Climbing Roses. I don't know if any of you are doing both, but I have both that's going on. So let's look at Amongst the Stars. We are on block 3, which is the Weather Vane. So here they are, my 2 Weather Vane blocks. And we also want to do some of the small stars. And so I have those, I'm going to show them to you up close, but there I have them up on the wall. So now on the Climbing Roses, you should be doing enough to have 2 rows at least. So you want to be doing a 3rd row. And I am going to be making a 4x4. So I would be doing like 4x4 so that I get a nice sort of, you know, children's quilt size, and I will put a border on that. It could be a wall hanging, a table topper size. And so I need to make a few more blocks as we're going along. So I did another one this week, and I'm going to show you the components of, the components of this block, and we'll do a close-up. So let's go to the other side of the table. The Weather Vane block for Amongst the Stars is really cool because it's a little twist on the traditional block. So this is what the block is laid out like, and I'm going to show you the fabrics and the components of the block, and then the little bit of a twist. And then after that, we're going to also look at the Climbing Roses. So first we have the fabrics, the background, which is always the same, and we're using the black floral from Promise Me from my line, and the green, which looks like sort of, I don't know, tile work or something. Like, it's really pretty. I love that sort of curve in it. So these are the 2 for the block. So how they are used is, here we go. So here is the Weather Vane with the green in the primary, sort of in the big chunk, and then the black is the accent. And then the second block is the black accent, so you can get those really nice roses off of there, and then the green is in the corners. Now the place that, let me show you on this one, the place that a regular Weather Vane would be like, here I've got a square from the making, so we'll just sort of fold it up a little bit, mock it up, and there is what a regular Weather Vane block would look like. It would have a solid in here, like a square, instead of this half square triangle. So that's the kind of the difference of it, which I think is really neat. So there's 2 basic components, the corner and the middle, and then the center. So let me show you the components for doing these 2 and how they go together. The whole quilt has lots and lots of sew and flips, and this is a pretty easy one. We're doing half square triangles and sew and flip blocks. So here is the, whoops, can we get them both on here? Let me see. Okay, I think we can. Yeah. So we have the unit here is, well, it's basically this one. Yeah. So this is this unit. And what you have is a half square triangle, which is this. and I'm going to just pin it in place on the design board like that. And then on the rectangle, you're building the rectangle to get that angle by doing a sew and flip here, and then taking a sew and flip at the top. And then what I like to do is look at that piece of fabric for the rectangle and be sure that I'm not chopping it off. I want to be sure I have some fabric. You know, it's not like all black, you know, like the more black than anything else. So here, let's look at the rectangle again. So my rectangle had enough here in the middle. So I didn't want sort of that black in the middle. You want to have something of interest in the middle so that when you're folding them, it comes out nicely. And then when you sew this unit, it's the same unit in all the spots, all 4 of them. You just rotate, rotate the unit. Now for the green section here, you're taking the square and you're doing sew and flips in 2 corners. So you have 1, and then you sew and flip the other corner. And so that is totally it. And then you'll be assembling it. And this is the one intersection right here, and you can watch the video where I did the intersections the other day, and that is how you'll do them. Just sort of match that up carefully, and that's the one spot that you on each of these right here at this corner you want to be watching that you hit it evenly. You get those sections matching. And so that is your weather vane variation block this week. Now there are also, I would like you to do a couple of the small stars so that you keep moving along with that. You don't want to at the end have a bunch of small stars, because we still have the border, which will be something we'll sort of start working on. But the small stars, there's 6 of them. So if you've been sewing them already, these would be the last ones you do. So let me show you the last 3 that I haven't shown you before in the Promise Me fabric. And they will be the ones, here we go, they will be the ones to do this week. First I have with the same fabric that we're sewing with, the black and the green. So you have one, these are just all half square triangles. And then do one with a gray and a dark green. And then pink, this is all the same pink, and a gray. So, and if you sew on these sashings, these are all ready then to go into the quilt. So that is for this week on Amongst the Stars. Now the Promise Me quilt, I'm going to show you the components of that block. Now we did that block in a sew along, and I thought it was so great that I put it together for the entire quilt for this particular line for Promise Me, because I thought it would look really pretty in this, look like the climbing rose bush. And I do have the one block that I made up on week 1. So I'm going to start making a couple. I think I'm going to do a 4x4. I consider it, it's really like 4 blocks by 4 blocks, so that I have sort of 2 units. And I'll make, and then I'll put a nice border on it. And I think it'll be a great like baby quilt size, or it could be something you lay down like on a table topper. And so let's take a look at the components for this block, because it's really fun. There's a lot of space, and therefore you can use big fabrics if you have it. So a lot of you are sewing this with your own fabrics and not my Promise Me, but I'm sewing with Promise Me. So this is the dark green, which I used in this star. So that star has the dark green, and it's got that same swirl as the light green. So you have these 2 units, which are mirror images of each other. They're rectangles and squares, and that's it. So you've got those 2 that'll be laid out, and then you have 2 big half square triangles, and they are you do 1 per block. So if you're making the colors, whoops, go this way, wait, I've got the block, here we go, that's why it didn't look right. This is the way it goes there. So you can see, so here is the pink one, and this will be the green one, and this will be a half square triangle that the other half of it will go down here. And I'm going to make enough up to do the 4x4. I think I'll stay with pink and green. I was kind of thinking of like, I'll do them all pink and green, and then I think do a pink border on it. And so I have dark green and light green, and then several pink options for the Promise Me line. And so I will be making those also. I'll do a couple this week, I think, to get a few of them in. And then for the rest of the weeks as we go along, I'll do 1 or 2, however many to get that number. How many weeks are on here? I have to look. We have, there are blocks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 7 blocks, and so this is the 3rd block. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more blocks, and then working on the border for Amongst the Stars, because it has that nice Delectable Mountain border. So that's really, really awesome. I love it. And it really just sets off the quilt. So I'm going to show you the pictures again. Here's a picture of that quilt done in the autumn fabric. Isn't that cool? And then there's the cover again, and it has red on that one. So today, that's what your assignment is. Well, not just for today, for the week, is to work on your Amongst the Stars and your Climbing Roses blocks. Now, we're going to hang these 2 up, and next week we can start assembling some things. You actually could assemble the top row this week because you have enough blocks to do that. But I will get everything up on the wall and show you where they are, and I will assemble my top row, because as you can see, we've already, if you've done 2 stars, you've already done all of this. And so I think that is amazing to be able to assemble that already. All right, let's talk about apples. Mummies, roses, now apples. It is Johnny Appleseed Day. That's so exciting. So I thought it would be really fun to look at quilts that have apple fabrics and apple or apples, you know, like images on it. And I'm going to show you mine. I had to hunt around. It took a little while to find it. Wasn't sure where I had put it. But mine is about maybe my 4th quilt I made. It is a double wedding ring. And I started with the apple fabric. So I'm going to show you up close. So this fabric came out about when I was taking the classes. See, I finished this quilt in 1993. And when I brought I was taking a double wedding ring class, and this is all piece by hand and hand quilted. Okay, I'll let you look at my amazing hand quilting. Not, but and it has curved binding, all of these things. Yeah, I think it was about my 4th quilt. But when I brought the fabrics into class, my teacher, I was taking all these classes from the same lady because she was teaching all of them in a very, very tiny quilt shop in the basement of a bank. And so I brought the fabrics in, and she went like, oh, that's interesting. You know, and I've learned that's code for like, she didn't really think this was going to work out, but let's see what happens. That's interesting. And I love it. I have always loved it. I only did 2 double wedding rings, this one and one about the same size that I gave as a gift years ago to, I don't know, I think my sister-in-law. So let's see your quilts with apple fabrics, apple images. It'll be so fun. My farmer's market also has an apple on it, 1 single apple. Yeah, well, you got to start somewhere. It is apple season. This fall is when the apple orchards open up. You can go and get apple cider donuts, you know, all things fall evolve around the wonderful apple. So I hope that you share some really great apple quilts today. I'm really excited to see what you have. All right, what else do we have going on? Okay, our Jelly Roll winner from Jelly Roll Day. You had to say what was your favorite Jelly Roll over at the Fat Quarter Shop, the Jelly Roll free pattern. And Angela, who I've emailed, said that hers was the Jelly Glazed Hearts. That's the one that she loved the most. And so I've written to emailed with Angela, and she will email me back and be able to pick the Jelly Roll she loves most. Then the Fat Quarter Shop will send it to her. So much fun. Thank you, Fat Quarter Shop, for doing fun projects that we can all be involved in. And 2 little updates. One, I did find the pin that I dropped. So the other day I told you I dropped the pin, and I could could not find it. Well, eventually it had gone all the way in the corner behind the basket that has all the rolls of interfacing and things in it. It was way back in the corner, and the head of the pin was dark, so it was on the dark ground, and that's why I didn't see it until I had like a little bit more light that shined off of the pin part. Crazy, right? Crazy, crazy. And I would like to give you an update on Norm and Nanette's adventures or location. Basically, they're in customs in the U.S. So they have landed in customs in the U.S., which coming from Australia, that is in Los Angeles. And so they are vacationing at the customs building in Los Angeles at the moment. I hope that's nice. And when they get here to my home, then I will have a little fun with them, and then they will go on to some more people for more fun adventures. All right, let's do a mail call. I have one mail call to wrap it up here. So cute. Okay, so when it came, the box came. That's why I said so cute. This is the box. It came in, and I'm like, that's a So Sampler box, but somebody wrote all over it. You know, my brain is like, then, oh, maybe somebody sent me something. It's not from the Fat Quarter Shop. Duh. So this is from Karen in Washington. Look at the pretty postcard she put in there with it. And she says, Halloween is a ways off, but sometimes when you see something, you just have to get it. So she says, enjoy. Okay, I'm excited. What's in here? Okay, I'm going to show them to you. Oh my goodness. Marshmallow piece. There's the monster marshmallow piece. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. Greg is going to like those. And we've got Goomy missing body parts. Oh no. Oh, there's like the brain. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Is that a finger? Yeah. Look, there's the finger. There's a finger. Oh my goodness. Can I even eat those? I don't know. Oh, the bulging eyeballs. Oh my God. Oh, they're squishy. Ew. Oh, wait, I got to turn it over. You're only seeing the back side. There we go. There's the eyeball. There they are looking at you. That's too much. Oh my goodness. And some Scully marshmallows. I'm gonna get a pumpkin spice latte, and I'm gonna put a Scully marshmallow right in the top. That is so cute. Karen, thank you so much. You made my day. You really did. That's a riot. Okay, so if you are making climbing roses, I've got the start of a second one, which I will do pink and green. I'm going to do all pink and green blocks and not the whole thing, just a little subset of it. And then you will be doing your Amongst the Stars blocks. Ta-da! I love the weather vane block. That is one of my favorite blocks. And if you have an apple quilt with apple fabric or apples on it, share it today over at our community, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook. The link is down below and in my description box under the video, and at my website under the video. So all right, my friends, thank you for being here. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being in the Sloan Zone. We will see you online.